All right, guys, we're going to get right into this clip here with Tucker Carlson and the Prime Minister of Qatar. A big topic of concern is Iran and what that future holds. Trump apparently is applying full maximum pressure, quote unquote, with sanctioning the Iranian regime, which really, sanctions don't really affect the regime. It just makes the civilians in the country suffer. I mean, they've sanctioned the hell out of Russia for several years, and Russia's thriving economically. So let's get into this clip here.
There's talk in the United States of increasing sanctions on Iran. I didn't know that was possible, but Iran has been under some form of sanctions for almost 50 years. 46 years, I think. Have they achieved their intended goal? And bigger picture, have you ever seen sanctions against anybody achieve their intended goal?
Look, this issue is very controversial. First, as a principle for my country, for state of Qatar, we see unilateral sanctions are ineffective, and it's punishing the people, not punishing a country or a regime. That's number one.
They still have the revolutionary government from 1979 in power,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I mean, if it would lead to a result, we wouldn't be in that situation until now.
Fidel Castro died in Havana.
Yeah.
After 50 years of U.S. sanctions. Yeah.
So just, going back, sanctions, what does it create? Pressures the people, it starves them, it creates black markets, it creates a whole illegal system. If the sanctions are coming out of the U.S., it actually prevents all the U.S. interests or companies to have business and lose the opportunities for other countries. So I don't see a world where the sanctions work. Honestly, for us, as I told you, it's a core principle in our foreign policy. We refuse. We don't support sanctions at all. And sanctioning countries, I'm talking about. And sanctioning countries is just making the situation much worse.
Well, can I just ask, so three of the biggest oil-producing countries in the world, Venezuela, Russia, Iran,
Yes.
have been under, the most extensive sanctions in history.
Yes.
They're still selling oil, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of oil.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's mainly it's sold in different means, in different currencies. And look, Tucker, I recall when the Russian sanction came out at the beginning of the war between Russia and Ukraine. I had an interview in one of the US media channels, and I said very clearly that sanctions will only create a parallel marketplace for other currencies. So the dollar-dominated international currency, you will start to see countries moving away from that.
Yes.
By the time. So it won't benefit. It won't benefit, it won't get you what you want. It's the contrary. That's basically what's been, at the end, like any country like Venezuela, for example, or Iran, they need to survive. They need to feed their people. They need to get, at least the basic requirements that they want. They will find ways to sell their oils. They will find ways to use other currencies. They will find markets who will accept them and, selling them and buying from them. And that's basically you created like a parallel market. And that's what I'm been saying.
150%, guys. So, sanctioning doesn't benefit America or the regime that they're, quote unquote, attempting to topple, right? The reality of it is these same governments are going to find alternative means, right, to make money, to sell their import, export, or trade, right? They're gonna it's even gonna be worse because then they'll start doing it on the black market. Then they're gonna start forming affiliations with different countries, allyships who have, who also are anti-West, or who the West deem them as enemies. Like China, like Russia has ties with China, Iran, North Korea. And they start even forming, an alliance for a currency-like alliance, like with BRICS. That whole situation is a group of countries coming together saying that, hey, we don't want to depend on the dollar anymore. because it's being imposed on us militarily, and they're kind of like imposing and forcing us to use the dollar as like this prime currency that everybody has to trade with, in order to continue having their hegemony over the entire world. So countries like Russia, especially in Russia is a superpower, guys. So Russia's not some small country in Europe that no one cares about. Like Russia's a superpower, millions of people. Like it's a huge economy. So they won't even sell American products in their country. They have like alternatives to every single thing you can think of in the United States that's Russian made, right? They have bilateral trade agreements with China, who's an even way bigger threat than Russia is to the United States, with Iran, with North Korea. So they've isolated themselves and formed like an economy of their own, right? And now, Putin and I think Russia is leading this whole effort with the whole BRICS currency as well. And their message is, hey, we're not going to depend on the dollar if you guys keep trying to impose certain things on us, sanctioning us and isolating us from the world global economy, right? In order for you to maintain your hegemony, and you're gambling with World War III, you're gambling with atrocities, you're gambling with people's lives, So sanctioning never works, guys. And really, the people that suffer are the civilians, the people living in the country. The regimes always find different alternative ways to make money. You even have rogue states like, Syria, for example, who was sanctioned like hell when Bashar al-Assad was in office. And, they had, like, I think with them was like level 3 sanctioning. Like, you couldn't even send a penny there, right? So, the regime ended up selling drugs, unfortunately, right? But that's what they did alternatively to, bring some money into the country and not have to deal with, the West, or having America impose their, impose their hegemony over that region. So it is what it is, guys. Sanctioning makes the world a more dangerous place, okay? And it doesn't work.